Boy, do I have a theory for you folks regarding Project Robot. It has been brought to my attention by JK, but he brought to my attention this image from 2017, where he made a lot of adjustments to the image in order to reveal a little bit more information that is on the background over here that we can't really see if we look at the actual image that Gen Design released back in the late 2017, December 2017, I believe. But I was looking at this image again, man, and it's now very revealing about what might be, at least in my view, one of the main subjects about Project Robot, and that is nature versus technology. Okay, but first, let me actually show the image that JK actually shared. And the one thing that we can see when we clean this image up is this freaking robot right here that feels like an earlier iteration of the robot that we see now in the trailer for Project Robot. So it's just showcasing like, yeah, this is like an iterative process. This was probably like an earlier iteration that then evolved to this, that then evolved to what we have now in the reveal trailer. This did remind me heavily of one of the major inspirations of Fumito Ueda when it comes to how to create stories. The Iron Giant is a movie that has been very influential to Fumito Ueda. We know this because he said this in interviews before, and you can actually even see that if you go and watch The Iron Giant and then you play, especially Aiko and The Last Guardian, you can definitely tell that there's a lot of beats, especially the ending, that are very similar to this movie. We also have like these two little images of like, this seems like a bus, a mobile vehicle or something. So I've theorized this before, but I do believe that some, not all of them, but some of these robots might be able to transform themselves into different vehicles in order to maneuver terrains. And this feels like one of those vehicles, and it's probably related to this robot specifically that we see in the background. We also have this symbol right here. I don't know exactly what this is, but this does look like an eye that is somewhat similar, or it kind of reminded me of the eye that we constantly see in The Last Guardian. But this isn't really the theory. The theory is about nature versus technology, right? And the thing that's really pushing me to that direction is what's happening here on the bottom left of the image, man. Like you can see, and I've basically manipulated the image in order to showcase better like what is happening on the bottom left. You can see a human figure that seems to have like a jewel here attached to him, like a necklace. And I want you to pay attention to like this part right here, because it feels like it's like an old sort of t-shirt or whatever, like leather that feels kind of primitive, you know what I mean? But now look at, for example, this boar, whatever this is. It has the same aesthetic. Sure, I mean, it's like a human figure boar, but it also has like a jewel, right? A necklace, and it has like the same sort of vibe here from this t-shirt right here. Whoever this guy is, he is this character also. He is able to transform himself into a boar, like a colossi sort of boar. I mean, this human right here could actually be a giant and not really like a human-sized figure. There is also this image of a kid that does not look like the Project Robot kid, even though he does have like a weapon or something on his back that could be related to the kid in Project Robot. Even though he doesn't seem like a robot, he seems just like a normal kid. And he seems to be riding this creature that also has the chain, that also has this like, I don't even know what this is, like t-shirt, whatever it is, that feels a little bit more primitive. This guy, whoever this guy is it's this creature, and it's also this creature that this dude is riding on. And I have to say that that design kind of reminds me of an early concept of Shadow of the Colossus for the first Colossi. If you have not seen my video, by the way, about the Colossi and their main inspiration that I believe are their Tao Tie, which are an ancient sort of mythological creature from Chinese mythology, take a look at that, because I think it will bring a little bit more context to everything that I'm talking about here. But we do know that the Colossi in Shadow of the Colossus are based loosely in a lot of components, not only by humans, but also animal parts. That's why, for example, the first Colossi, even though he looks like a human in terms of anatomy, he has giant arms. His legs are like horse-like, but then he has like a face of a bull or a boar or something along those lines. It's like a mixture of human and animal traits. And this is exactly what's happening here, man. This boar is literally the transformation of this guy, and this guy has an anatomy of a human, but it has like animalistic sort of traits. A lot of people might be saying like, okay, sure, but how do you know that this has anything to do with Project Robot, right? Like we had like, for example, the Beauty and the Beast images, you know, that were released, and these images are like a project that was from their trial and error sort of phase of coming up with new ideas for this project. I get it. A totally valid criticism about this. But why would they put these images right next to Project Robot? It just doesn't make sense. Why would they put this one image with everything about this, and they did not put anything about the Beauty and the Beast project in this specific image? This just makes me think that whatever's happening between these two, they're all from the same game. We know that Fumito Ueda is basing himself a lot on the Ultraman show. And in the Ultraman show, if you go back and watch some of the episodes, one of the things that is most prominent in the show is fighting between Ultraman and these alien sort of figures. It really gives me off the idea that we are most likely going to see these sorts of fights, because this character has, like I've mentioned before in another video, a broken jaw. And this seems like you got into a fight against someone or something, and you got like punched in the face, and like your jaw was completely broken. It gives off that vibe visually. And within this whole concept that I'm talking about, nature versus technology, it just makes sense that maybe he was fighting against one of these Colossi figures that is very animalistic in terms of traits. I honestly think that's what we're seeing here. I think that this game is probably going to be something along the lines of there are two civilizations that are fighting against each other. One of them has evolved heavily on a technological sort of basis, while the other kept a lot more traditional or magic related. But there's this struggle between these two now, and they are fighting. But why choose a boar? Like, why choose out of everything a boar specifically? I think that might be related to how Japanese people view boars, generally speaking. At least from this website, it says here, in the Japanese zodiac, the wild boar is represented instead of the pig. People born in the year of the boar are believed to be born as strong and brave individuals. Boar people, as they are commonly referred to, also display and maintain a great sense of honesty, composure, affection towards loved ones, and humble personalities. In ancient Japanese cultures, wild boars were considered a religious mark. The boar has direct ties to the Japanese god of fight. This is because boars have regularly gone head-to-head with revered Japanese hunters. As a result, the Japanese associate the wild boar with aggression and the attacking spirit. And we can kind of see that, for example, in Princess Mononoke, the movie from Studio Ghibli. It says here, a young warrior must save his village from a giant demon that has come rampaging out of the mountain forests. After its death, the beast is revealed to be a wild boar god, corrupted by an iron bullet lodged inside it. Later on, an army of boars attacks the humans in an attempt to save the forests from their encroachment. This whole thing is really giving me the vibe that we might see a video game that is really going to bring this sort of struggle between nature and technology, where you have a part of a civilization that has become incredibly technological, but has completely disregarded nature to the point that nature fights back. And I think this is where this giant sort of civilization might come into play. A civilization that is like a representation of this uprising of nature against this civilization that has been engulfed in technology. The one problem with this theory so far is that it does not explain what the hell is this. We do not know what the hell this is. And this theory clearly does not explain any of this, what is happening right now. One thing is for sure, there's still a lot of questions about this game. We don't really know much about it, but that one image really got me thinking about this, and I just kind of wanted to share these thoughts. Because why the hell would they put the robots and those animals in the same image if it's not from the same sort of concept? It just doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this little theory. I mean, it's not much, but I think it was worth showcasing this image now, especially with all that we know from Project Robot so far. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Over and out.